give them kind of a brief introduction of kind of who you are, you know, your credentials, your background?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Carley. Been friends with Heather forever.
Forever.
So I'm Carley. I live in San Francisco. I've worked in the beauty industry for a long time. Actually, Heather and I used to work together way long ago, like fresh out of college, for Bare Essentials. And I've worked for different beauty brands and retailers, and also in the sustainability space. I have a background in sustainability. I have my MBA in sustainable management. And I've really kind of bridged those two things together, both the beauty industry and sustainability. And that's really like the cross section of what I'm super passionate about. I really just, you know, see that there's so much potential in the beauty space for integrating more healthy habits, more healthy ingredients, sustainable sourcing. The beauty industry is so complicated. I mean, no wonder consumers are kind of confused with all the terminology that's out there. And I know we're going to talk about that a little bit. Yeah. But it's really even more complex when you get into the nitty gritty of it. And it makes me super excited because there's so much good work to do to make better products and to, you know, create brands that are doing more good for the world and good for people and for health and the environment. And yeah, that's what I do. I help brands and retailers prioritize product sustainability, and I absolutely love it. And I'm happy to share some things here with you guys today.
Yes, and you guys, she's amazing at it because she has so much passion for it, and I feel like that is, you know, the unique thing that makes Carley so different, and why I wanted to interview her, not only because she's, you know, a dear friend of mine, but also just because I know she has that knowledge, the education. Like I said, she has her master's in this, and then she has also the, you know, the work experience and then the passion. And, you know, some people just kind of go into their job doing their thing, and she has literally, as long as I've known her, been passionate about this. So I think that what's really neat about this, and a lot of my followers feel the same way, whether you have kids or not, we're all thinking about the future world. We're all thinking about future generations. We're all, you know, hopefully being very conscious of that. And you guys know that whether it's your yoga practice, beauty, whatever it is that I'm talking about, we're always thinking about the long-term results for our own bodies and for our world and for future generations. And I think that that's where, you know, it's amazing what Carley's doing, because she's working with these top, you know, national brands and helping them, and a lot of them that you shop at, I'm sure, and helping them to kind of go more clean or green. And again, we're going to kind of work through that a little bit and what the difference is there in just a moment. So pretty exciting. So again, be thinking about your questions for those that are joining us, for anything you want to ask Carley towards the end after we're done with our basic Q&A here, okay? And make sure you're, of course, following us both. So before we get started with the first question, Car, can you let them know what your Instagram handle is, what your, you know, website is, just so they can follow you and, you know, find you?
Yeah, for sure. My Instagram handle is cleanbcarley, which you'll probably see with this video. Follow me on Instagram. And also, and then also I am launching my website. It's called cleanbeeconsulting.com. It's like brand new, fresh out the gate, but I've been doing consulting work for a long time, so it's really just a way for me to showcase the work that I've been doing and what my expertise is. So I just founded Clean Bee Consulting. It's a consulting firm that works with brands and retailers to help them prioritize, you know, making cleaner products, making more sustainable products, and really showing them how to do that, from the nitty-gritty details to branding and marketing and all of that, which I've done for various brands in the past. So
I love it. So we're going to jump into the interview because I'm seeing people joining us here, and I know people have questions and they want to know these answers. So you guys, let me first tell you the inspiration for this video is basically my first question. I, of course, as always, write up my own questions, send them to my experts, and I love to just kind of go, here's my own questions, like what I don't know the answer to that I want to bring to the, you know, True Beauties, or kind of clean up the, or sort of clear up the chaos a little bit, especially the marketing chaos, because so many people are jumping on the bandwagon of marketing everything all natural, all organic, and it can be very confusing for the consumer, like we talked about. So my first question for Car is, so clean, green, natural, organic, and non-toxic beauty are all huge buzzwords nowadays. Can you clear up the difference between these terms? So again, sometimes even for me, and this is my industry, I'm like, okay, clean, green, what's going on here? I just want healthier. So Car, can you just explain that to us? And are they all the same? Are they different?
Yeah, definitely. So this is a great question because it's confusing. Like
Yeah.
they're literally, and I think it's both the frustration for consumers, but it's also frustrating for brands and retailers too, because there is no like definition for any of these terms. Like there's no like actual definition that anybody agrees to. There's no legal definition. So it creates a lot of confusion. And I think a lot of people misuse these terms. You know, they think clean means the same thing as green, or natural means clean beauty. And there's lots of intricacies in within the different terms. I can kind of go through and explain what they should mean, or what is a more recognized like definition for them. So as far as clean beauty, and that's really like a very popular term. Like all the big retailers are using it. You know, new startup innovative brands are using this term, and it's really up to the brands to define what it means. So clean, really what it means is a brand is using ingredients that are non-toxic. They're really prioritizing health and health impact. So the ingredients that they're choosing, you know, have a low health hazard, or are safer for human health, safer to put on your skin, safer to be absorbed by your body, safer to maybe put on your lips or your eyes, and that, you know, that's getting into your body even more so than something that's going on your skin. And that's really what that's supposed to mean, but it's honestly up to the brands to decide what they're defining as clean beauty. My recommendation for consumers is really to look at the brands that you like and, you know, ask them, look at their websites, look to see if they have standards that they're sharing, if they have ingredients that they're proudly stating that they don't use, if they have other standards. Just ask them, you know, ask them questions. And I think that will help not only push the industry, which is happening in a huge way, really driven by consumers primarily, and also you know, like just help brands educate people a little bit more, because that's happening a lot, and it's really exciting.
It really is. And one thing I just want to interject, Car, is I think, you know, just as our followers are listening and as they watch this or watch the recording or whatever, you know, keep in mind too, we live in this day and age too, just like the way that Car and I are reaching you right now live. You know, I know as an influencer, as a blogger, we have a lot of power. Like I have brands who come to me and I'm like, they will offer me a product or whatever. I'm like, well, does your product have this in it? And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for thinking of me, but I'm not interested because I don't use that for me, and I'm not going to promote that to my, you know, followers. And all of a sudden that brand is going, we need to take this ingredient out because we're having influencers and bloggers that won't promote it because it has maybe mineral oil or something that's not healthy. So keep in mind yourself. I want you guys to feel empowered too. Twitter. I'm not huge on Twitter, but like you can tend to like make a big difference with businesses by reaching out through Twitter and getting an answer quickly, or of course Instagram. So feel empowered to do that, because I agree with you, Car. I think we're like living in this world now where consumers are dictating so much when it comes to brands, and the way kind of we're almost regulating the industry, which can be kind of cool, but kind of that's why it can be confusing, right?
Yeah, it can, but it's also super exciting. Like, you know, there's that like old quote, like vote with your dollar or whatever, but literally how true that is insane. It's insane. I mean, the way that the industry, like working in the beauty industry for so long, the way that it's shifted so much, it has been mostly driven by consumers, like by consumers asking brands, wanting more transparency. You know, I think the food industry has kind of moved into the beauty industry where, like, you know, we've been a little bit more careful about what type of stuff we eat, what we, you know, organic, you know, if it's natural, things like that. And that kind of flows into the beauty industry. But it has been driven a lot by consumers, and brands are changing because of that. And like, there's new brands that are doing it, but there's also like brands that have been around for ages that are shifting what they're doing. And that to me is just so inspiring.
I agree.
So exciting.
I agree. So going back to kind of the clean, so I almost, from what I'm hearing from you, it's almost like clean beauty and like non-toxic beauty are kind of one and the same, because you're saying that clean beauty is basically saying that there's not toxic ingredients in it, whether it's for your eyes, lips, skin, which, remember, you know, true beauty is that your skin, like I talk about a lot with, like when I talk about, you know, essential oils and things like that, and my skincare that I use, my natural skincare routine, your skin's your biggest organ, right? So anything you're putting on your skin, think of like an orange peel, all those pores, it's seeping into your skin, into your body. So that's why having a, you know, natural, organic, clean beauty, non-toxic beauty, skincare routine and makeup routine is so important. You can get the results and then have it be natural and healthier. So it sounds like those are one and the same. So what about then, before we move on to our next question, like green, what did I say here? So natural, green, and organic are the other ones I had on here.
Yeah, like we could talk about this forever and ever and ever. Oh my goodness.
So is that basically the same? Like, I guess my question is green beauty the same as non-toxic and that's the same as clean, or is it a little different?
So I think some people are using those terms interchangeably, clean beauty and green beauty, although they're not really the same. They really shouldn't be the same, because what clean is trying to do is really prioritize health and health impact and using safer ingredients for your body. While green, like if you're using the term green, it's more incorporating environmental piece. So if you're saying green beauty, what that really should mean is both, taking into account health impact, but also taking into account, waste, the sustainable sourcing of ingredients, the packaging, the supply chain, like all of these things that incorporate sustainability, which are I kind of see like clean beauty being this like huge wave that's happening right now, and green beauty kind of being like the next thing. Like what we want to do is green beauty.
Yeah.
We really want to take into account the whole, not just human health, but also the environmental pieces.
Long term,
which is even harder. Truly, like a lot of products say they're green and they're not really truly green, because the supply chains in the cosmetic industry are insanely complex. Like I could talk about that forever. It's very, very complicated. But that is the goal. The goal is to take into account, the overall impact of a product when it comes to the ingredients and the packaging and the materials that are being used and shipping and the weight of the product and all of those types of things, which green beauty really should be incorporating.
I like that. And even that alone, it's so funny. This is why I love doing these interviews, you guys. Like, and you guys know my degree's in journalism and marketing, and so I love interviewing people, and you're already clearing it up for me, Car. So I realize it's not picture perfect, because it's kind of like we talked about for those that are joining us now, that it's kind of like we kind of regulate the industry a little bit as well, and that kind of goes into one of my other questions. But basically, from what I'm hearing, it's like clean beauty, if you think of it in all the different categories, you guys. So clean beauty, non-toxic beauty, green beauty, natural beauty, organic beauty, right? So all these different buzzwords. So it's almost like clean beauty and non-toxic beauty are one and the same. It has to do with your body being like clean, non-toxic, all of that. Green beauty, if those are here, it's that step up. It's being non-toxic for your body, but also non-toxic for our world, or better, kind of better packaging, like you said, maybe less of a carbon footprint, in the way that they get you the product. So that's even like the higher standard. So it's like raising the bar. So green beauty is ideal. And then it sounds to me, before we go to the next question, that it's like natural and organic isn't necessarily saying it's green beauty, because they're not promising anything with packaging or anything like that, but it's maybe a little bit more into the non-toxic clean. But, we all know natural ingredients are great, but it doesn't mean there's not, some natural ingredients out there that maybe you shouldn't have or that aren't good for you. So that's definitely better, but it almost sounds like in a way, natural and organic might almost be lower than clean and non-toxic. Is that right? Like as far as kind of going in like
no, not necessarily. Like I think it would be hard to interject like in this whole like here and here.
Like levels.
We're thinking the same thing. We're thinking the same thing. It'd be hard to interject like natural and organic into that, I think, because in general, natural ingredients tend to be better for your body, but that doesn't mean that all natural ingredients are good for you. I mean, think about like poison ivy and things like that. And there's a lot of essential oils that people use that people have allergens to. And that's, well, that's not necessarily like hurting your health. It's an allergy that people have. So like it's like skin irritation or, makes you like sneeze or whatever it is. So those things are not really synonymous. And while, natural ingredients, some can be good for you, most are good for you, some can also not be good for you. The same thing with synthetic ingredients. So like there has been some misinformation in the industry too around synthetic ingredients and saying like, oh, synthetic ingredients are bad, but that's not true at all. Like there's actually a lot of synthetic ingredients that are replacing very harmful ingredients that are better for you and better for the environment. So,
and I like that you mentioned that too, because that's kind of the way that we try to live our lives as like our family, and everyone, you know, all my followers know that I really try to do. I always tell people, like, we really do like 99.9%, you know, natural, organic, and all, constantly improving. But I mean, there's a reason for humans and our brains and science and what we've progressed as. And, you know, I think the best answer always in healthcare and beauty is kind of the best of both worlds. It's sort of a balance. It's like doing as much natural and listening to the fact that everything we need is provided by our earth. I really am a firm believer in that. But also understanding that we come from here, and we're from, you know, we're here on the earth, and that we also have science for a reason. So I think it is that balance. And I really appreciate you clearing that up, Car, because that makes sense. And I think what the biggest takeaway is realizing that, you know, natural, of course, is good. We want to go natural. We want to go organic. All right, cool. Let's take that a next step up. And that's kind of what I meant by the levels. Like, okay, let's make it clean, non-toxic. Because like Car was just saying, like I was just saying, natural isn't always going to be, it will for the most part, but it may not always be good for you. Like Car was just saying, everyone's allergy, you know, and everyone's body chemistry is a little different, right? And then that green beauty, I love that, Car, where that's like where we're headed. It's I like that it's making it not about only our bodies, but it's making it for future generations and the world around us. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense to you guys. And I think it's important, like Car said, to like make our opinions known to brands, and, you know, speak up so that brands really raise the bar, since and this goes into a little bit of my next question, but so that the industry standard, you know, we're all kind of raising the bar a little bit, right? So Car, let me just check out my next question here. Let's see. Okay, so we kind of covered that. I was just saying, is there one of the mentioned terms that is most valuable when we are shopping for products? So we really mentioned that because it's kind of like they're all a little bit different. So I think we can skip that one. So this we also touched on, but I want to see if you want to add anything here, Car. I said, is the industry regulated like the organic label on foods? Is there a certain label we can look for on, you know, all beauty products that means it's up to par when shopping to, you know, take the guesswork out? So is there a label like that, Car, that we can just look for, whether it's a foundation, whether it's a lotion? Is that out there yet?
Yeah, there are definitely a handful of labels that are out there. A lot of them are newer to the market. There's one that came out just a little over, I think it was October, like 2 years ago. It's almost 2 years, called EWG Verified. It's from the Environmental Working Group, which is a nonprofit that advocates for environmental health. And they do it in many different industries, not just cosmetics. They also do it, you know, for food and for building materials and different things like that. But they came out with their own certification called EWG Verified. You can go to their website and like they have all the brands listed that have their certification. I've actually been inside of a brand and helping to like go through that process of getting certified. It's very in depth. They really like dig into your supply chain and what you're doing. So I definitely would recommend that. Anything with that certification is definitely, or verification they call it, is definitely a good thing to look for. Another one that just came out even more recently is called Made Safe. There's a brand called trubeautys, which is a startup brand, just popped up a couple of years ago. It's actually based in the Bay Area, and they, I think, like from the beginning, they are getting all their products with the Made Safe certification. Cool. It's very, the standards with EWG Verified and Made Safe, like I haven't fully compared them, but I know that they're probably like somewhat similar. Definitely recommend that label as well. But you got to keep in mind too, there's that certifications can be a little pricey for brands. So again, like look for those types of things. Also, organic is always a good thing to look for. That does take into account the environmental pieces as well as health. So you can get USDA organic certified products for cosmetics too. So that's another one to look out for. And then other than that, just ask the brands, go to their website. Do they have standards? Are they listing ingredients that they're not carrying? Like, what are their standards? Ask them. There's ingredients that you're concerned about that we're going to share with you soon. Yes. Our next question. Ask them, you know, if they use those ingredients, and if they do, why? Or, you know, we really have a lot of power as consumers. So
I love that. And for those that are joining us, you know, with this list that we're going to go into, like kind of like your your top 10 toxic list of, you know, ingredients you don't want in your beauty. And I'm going to have this list on my blog post along with this video. This video will be up on my YouTube channel, my True Beauty Movement YouTube channel, and within, I'm able to now embed these videos within my blog post, which is so exciting. So shout out to my marketing team, who I love so very much. They've been able to really help me to kind of bring all this together synergistically and make this True Beauty vision come to life. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a list, you guys. We're going to either make it a bullet list for you. Probably we'll do that first, just so you have it at ASAP. And let's see here. We have some people asking questions. So yeah, start asking questions, guys, because we're going to open it up to you guys in a second here. But before we jump into her question, we'll go into our next question card, and then we can, you know, bring it out to the audience. So feel free to enter questions, guys. But what we'll do is, let's have like a list, like that bullet list of these top 10 ingredients, the toxic ingredients we're going to go over here in a second. And we would love to make it like all pretty as a PDF for you guys. So guys, just know that's kind of like a goal of ours. But Car and I are both very busy entrepreneurs. Girl boss, baby. Girl boss. So we're very busy. So our intention is to do a PDF for you, but we're just going to slap out a bullet list for you first so you have it. And then if we can have a PDF there for you to save to your phone. So that way when you're shopping in Target and you're like, oh, cute, like natural looking marketing. And you're like, wait a minute. Is this just like fancy marketing? And you can turn it around and check and see if it has, you know, any of those ingredients. And if it does, remember it's toxic ingredients, you're going to put that back on the shelf, right? Or toss it if it's in your current makeup or, you know, skincare bag or whatever. So that's our intention. We want to have a, you know, call to action or a takeaway for you in this video, because we want you to really take something away from this and have it really, you know, help you to look and feel your best, right? That's what it's all about. So Car, something else I just thought of when you were saying that is those little labels you talked about, like the organic label, remind me, is it EW something?
EWG, so Environmental Working Group, EWG
okay.
verified.
And then the made safe, it would be cool. We'll see after this interview if we can get like little circle, you know, images of that and put it on the blog post so people could see those 4 images that you talked about. Yeah, I think that would be cool. So that way you guys can visually be like, oh, okay, gotcha. Because once you see it once, right, guys, then you're like, all right, that has it. And that's going to cut through the chaos a little bit. So then you have your little PDF list of your top 10 toxic ingredients that you don't want. And then you have those labels, and that'll really help you. To be honest with you, you guys are going to be probably better than a lot of people out there that maybe just are like, okay, it says it's natural, whatever. So, you know, that's again the intention here. So let's jump into
that. That reminds me of before we go to the next question, another thing to like add for consumers to help them. In addition to the EWG verified app or certification, they have an app and a website called Skin Deep, which people may or may not know about, but you can go onto their Skin Deep database and type in an ingredient, and it will rate it from 0 to 10 in terms of toxicity. Awesome. So that's a really good tool to use. They have an app and their website, and then you can also type in a product too, and it will rate the ingredients in the product and the overall product. Not all products are on there, so something to keep in mind, but cool. That's definitely something you can use. And then the other one is Think Dirty. It's a app that you can put on your phone. You can scan the product, scan the barcode, and it will do the same. It will rate a product from 0 to 10 in terms of toxicity, 10 being the most toxic. One thing to keep in mind is those two like apps or different tools that you can use, the rating system is not the same. So a product is not going to be rated a 3 over here and a 3 over here. I can definitely go into why that is. It's because EWG weights their products or their ingredients in their products, and Think Dirty doesn't. But that might be a little bit too complicated to share with everyone.
Let's go into the top 10 ingredients, and then we'll open up the question, everyone, and then maybe we could add that to the blog post card. And I'm seeing Randy here. You guys know Randy. Love you, Randy. And we're seeing, you guys know Randy and I do a lot of our doTERRA essential oil, tutorials and tips for you guys every second Thursday of the month, live here on Thursdays. So shout out to Randy. And Randy just said, love Think Dirty. So she uses that. I didn't know you used that, Randy. Sweet. All my True Beauty girls. I love you guys so much. Seriously, you guys. And remember this, True Beauties. Surround yourself with good people. That is like the key to everything, right? Like all these amazing women I surround myself with as good friends, and it helps us all to up level. And that's the whole idea of this movement. And then we all up level together, right? And hopefully make the world a better place because of it. So I just jotted down, Carly, Think Dirty, Skin Deep. the top 10 toxic ingredient PDF or bullet list. And then the last thing was those labels, like basically the organic labels, those 4. So you guys all jot this down. And then I want to just really quick before we go into the top 10, because I know you guys are excited about that. I want to mention that what we're going to do is we're going to do this interview, and then I want to write the blog post based on this interview. So it'll have all these questions and answers. It'll have these things we just talked about. And then also, of course, this video will go up on my YouTube channel. And that's really my intention for all of these videos, whether it's my weekly yoga posture or whether it's this on Thursday. I think you guys are going to love it, because if you are a reading kind of person, you can read it like it's a magazine article. If you're visual, you can watch the video, and you can have everything like the PDFs and things. So remember, my blog's trubeautysmovement.com. That's TRU without the E, beautymovement.com. And that's where this blog post will be. And I think you guys are going to really value the information Carley gets me, that I add to the blog post. So check that out. I'm going to try to get it done by tomorrow, but remember, I have a daughter, so kind of bear with me. I'll announce on my feed once it's up, okay, with, what I do. I'll announce it, and I'll have swipe up features in my story and all that. So, let's go into the top 10 ingredients, and I really called them, your top 10 toxic ingredients to avoid in all beauty products. So, I'm like the magazine girl, I'm the influencer girl, I like the top 10 toxic ingredients, but is that the right terminology, Car? Because you have like something that was like an R list. What was that? It was
an RSL. So like internally in brands, it's called a restricted substance list. Usually brands that have standards will create these lists internally that they use with their formulators to say these are the ingredients that we don't want to use, and if we use these ingredients, we only want to use them at a certain percentage. Okay. In our products. It's called an RSL.
Okay, so would the RSL kind of be equivalent to this top 10, list, or is it, that's probably
that could be like our own personal RSL.
It's our True Beauty RSL list, you guys. So this is our top 10, and I want to be really clear here, you guys. This is not the only 10. Cara and I did a lot of prep before this interview. Again, we're dear friends. We like voxered back and forth talking about this, and she made it super clear there are a lot of ingredients you want to avoid, and there's a lot of great ingredients out there, and sometimes it breaks down to like certain ingredients for cleansers and certain ingredients for lotions. So she let me know it can be very elaborate, and we don't want that to intimidate you. We just want to be super upfront and super honest with you, but we wanted to make this tangible. Again, we wanted to have a call to action, so when you watch this interview and you read the blog post, you're like, sweet, all right, there's a lot of information out there in the industry, but I can walk away with those labels that Carley guided me to, and this top 10 list of maybe the most toxic ingredients you really want to avoid. So we wanted it to have a strong takeaway for you. That's one of my intentions as we do more of these, posts and interviews. So, Car, do you want to just jump in and kind of take the lead there?
Yeah. So I'm going to list off a bunch of ingredients. Like, don't feel like you need to memorize them. They're going to be on the blog that Heather's going to post, so you can take a look at it later. But as far as the ones I would probably recommend the most and are easiest to avoid, and there's good alternatives, safer alternatives for these products. The first one is parabens. You'll see it. There's 6 common parabens out there. You don't have to memorize exactly what it says. Just remember, if it says something like methyl paraben, propyl paraben, don't use that. You don't want to use those.
It'll actually say paraben in the ingredient?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be attached to another word, but you don't need to remember that. Just know that you don't want to use anything that says parabens on it. Mm-hmm.
And I think what's been really nice is a lot of products now just say paraben free, which is great.
Yeah, it's a very common one. Yeah.
And for them to, let me just ask you this, because I know that's a big one people are going to recognize. If it says paraben free, for them to actually put that on the label, can we trust that? Because I know some brands stick labels on there, and you're like, all right, but maybe this is pushing the envelope a little. Can we actually trust that it's actually paraben free, or do we need to turn it around?
That's a tough question. I would say mostly yes. You still would want to look at the back of the ingredient label, but companies can be sued for false marketing claims. So there are kind of bounty hunters out there that go and look for brands that are making false claims like that. So they're not supposed to, and it would be very rare that would happen, but it could happen.
Because I know it. I know it's happened. I've heard of it, and just kind of in my experience with the beauty industry, I know that it's rare, but that's where I want to let people know. So do your own homework, guys. Turn it around. Even if it says paraben free, that's that's great. If you're in a hurry, all right, you're probably fine. You can grab it from Target or wherever you're at, but turn it around. And if it says paraben in the word, then put it back on the shelf or toss it if it's in your current beauty bag. Okay, cool. So what would be the second one?
Another one is fragrance. If it says fragrance on a product, which is very, very, very common in all sorts of products, hair care products, shampoos, even like foundations, lipsticks. I mean, it could be in anything. The complicated thing around fragrance, if it says fragrance on the label, is that word is protected by trade secret laws. So it really means that word can literally host hundreds of chemicals, because it's like a company's like secret sauce in terms of what the components of that ingredient, and a lot of those tend to be pretty harmful. So I mean, it's no wonder like women that work in the fragrance department at department stores like have headaches, they get sick a lot, like things like that. Like these things are correlated. Anyway, so yeah, I would avoid fragrance for sure, unless the brand, sometimes it will say like fragrance and there'll be like a little asterisk on the ingredient label, and it will say like derived from natural sources or from essential oils or some certification. So that is like a gray area, but in general, if it just says fragrance, I would not use it.
Okay, that's awesome advice, because I actually saw, you guys know that we do essential oils and all this natural stuff, but there was one thing, it was like a spray for a cut, because my daughter's too, so she's like, she'll fall and kind of get a scrape or whatever, and I use my essential oils as like kind of like, to antibacterialize and all of that, but there was a spray card, and it said fragrance, and I was like, why is there a fragrance in a spray? I'm putting in an open wound, so I'm literally ordering, I know exactly what I'm getting. Excuse me, there was a spray, and then there was an ointment, and now I'm going to get this other one that, of course, is all natural and much better, but it's amazing because it can be tough. And one example I want to give you guys of like Burt's Bees, I have a lotion that I've talked about before that I really like, that it's in my natural skincare routine video, you guys, and it's my Burt's Bees body lotion that I really like. I used it when I was pregnant because it has cocoa butter in it, and it does say fragrance like you're saying, and then Car, to your point, has the asterisk that says derived from natural vanilla. So I love that she pointed that out, but that's crazy, Car, that fragrance can be that, just there's so many variables. It's not just one thing. It could be so much. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, so what's number 3?
Number 3 that we put on the list is PEGs, or polyethylene glycol. Anything that says PEG, PEG, on the label, sometimes I think there's like hundreds of PEGs out there. So if it says PEG and then a number or a word, like anything that says PEG, I wouldn't use. Another one.
4.
Number 4 is formaldehyde and formaldehyde releasers. Normally, it's not going to say formaldehyde on your ingredient label. What it's going to say is one of the formaldehyde releasers, which I'm not going to list off because it's a long list. But you can look at it on the blog.
Cool.
And they're basically ingredients that will like off gas, or there will be a byproduct of formaldehyde that's like produced with the mixing of 2 different ingredients. Definitely want to avoid, all of those for sure. That's number 4. Number 5 is methyl isothiazolinone, which is a very hard word to say.
That sounds natural.
All you have to know, it's the very long M word. It starts with a methyl, ends with a linone. Usually at the bottom of the ingredient list. It's in a lot of different products. One of the things that irritates me the most about this ingredient is it's often in like laundry detergents and like, like household cleaning products as well as cosmetics. It's a preservative. In any case, try to avoid it if you can. It sneaks up in various places.
Interesting. And by the way, no wonder people have like skin irritations and eczema and all that. If you're washing your laundry in that and then you put it on, that's where a lot of young kids will get like, I'll have moms come to me trying to go natural, and they're like asking my advice, and they'll schedule a wellness and beauty consult with me. And a lot of them have like these kids who have different things, and we change their laundry detergent to natural, and we, adjust and use some natural, obviously, remedies, and it goes away. And I'm like, well, there's probably something hidden in, the other laundry detergent. So that's great advice.
Yeah, what's on your laundry detergent is literally getting on your skin. I mean, it just is.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Another one is cyclotetrasiloxane. It's a silicone. It's called D4. Sometimes it's often in like foundations or moisturizers. It really creates like a slippery texture. Think about like putting on a moisturizer that makes it like all slippery on your skin. It feels all good. But it's not a great ingredient, and there are some decent replacements or a combination of ingredients that can replace it. So I wouldn't use that.
So, Car, I do have a question on that because you and I touched on that a little bit. So the silicones, right? There's even some brands that claim that they're more natural or more non-toxic or whatever, and sometimes they'll have silicones in it. And I know we don't need to talk about certain brands or anything like that necessarily, but some that you and I have talked about on the back end where it can be confusing because it does give that kind of where you're like, I've even told you, oh, my skin feels so soft though, and this and that, and it's mineral based or it's this, and we've talked about that. Is this what you're talking about? Is it that silicone that tends to be in some of those moisturizers or things where they'll feel? Okay.
Yeah. So silicones is a very, like, we could have a whole video on our interview on silicones. It's definitely a complicated topic, mostly because it's so, like, the texture of a product in the cosmetic industry is really quite important. I mean, it's about, like, the sensorial feel of it. It's about, like, the experience for the user. It's about it's sliding on your skin and not, like, balling up and things. So it's very, very, very important. There's like tons of silicones out there. There are ones that are much better than the other ones. And really the ones that are better, like dimethicone is one that is better. I wouldn't say rah, let's use dimethicone, but it is a better alternative than a lot of other silicones. And really it's not necessarily a toxic ingredient, but it tends to clog your pores, so it will block your pore and sometimes aggravate people who have acne like me, or used to have really bad skin. I know Heather and I both can relate to that.
Yep, we both struggled with acne for years, which is probably, I mean, it's not the only reason, Car, but it's probably one of the main reasons we both were so passionate about going towards natural ingredients, because we're like, all right, what we're using isn't working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I used to be on Accutane when I was younger, just terrible skin. And still struggle with it a little bit, but it's mostly in balance for the most part. Anyway, so what else was I going to say about that? And one of the things that's the hardest with most of the silicones is they're all derived from petroleum, so they're not sustainable, or they're not green. So that's another problem entirely. But there's more and more innovation happening in the industry. There's more and more ingredients coming out there that are better alternatives and safer alternatives for silicones. So
awesome. We're having some people add some stuff. Cool. We'll check out, we're going to open up in just a second here, you guys, to the questions. So we're going to have Carly finish the list. So where are we at, Car? Are we at number 6 or 7?
We're getting there. Let's see. Ethanolamines is another one. Anything.
And Car, real quick, you just got really bright. I'm wondering if it's maybe the sun came out. I don't know if it looks like that for the audience, but it's
super foggy as hell in San Francisco right
now. Is it really? That's so fun. Oh, wait, I just touched you and it went, okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. All of a sudden you were glowing. Maybe you were just, now I'm kind of glowing. What's going on? Maybe our energy's just up.
I can't see myself right now. I can't see myself right now, so it's kind of weird. Hopefully my looks good. I don't know.
You look awesome. You look beautiful. You do though, and so that's funny. You can't see yourself.
It's just a black hole.
Yeah, it's a black hole. That's a good thing. You're in the cosmos right now. You're in your element. I love that.
Hopefully
my little yogi side has to come out. Glowing. See, exactly. Somebody just said glowing. Exactly.
Okay, so that means they can see me. Hopefully it's not a black screen for them, because then it's you're interviewing a black hole. Like you said.
Then I am interviewing something in the cosmos. And by the way, and I'm laughing because I have my 2 lighting boxes here, but I have this one that's and so this side the lighting sucks. I'm well, hopefully it's going to turn out okay. But this is about Carly anyway, so it's okay. I'm just the one asking the questions. Okay, so Car, I'll let you flow through the rest of the ingredients, and we'll open it up.
Okay, so that one, the other one is sulfates. You'll see sodium lauryl sulfate, or sodium laureth sulfate. That's a common one that, just like parabens, will be listed sulfate free. They're not so great. That's number 8. Number 8. Number 9 or 8, I don't know, maybe my numbering's off. Anyway, the other one is petroleum and paraffins and mineral oil, mostly because they're unsustainable, and also they can be contaminated with harmful ingredients. So I would try to avoid those as much as you can. The next one is BHT. That's a preservative, and usually it's like on the end of an ingredient list. It's also in food, so watch out for that too. I wouldn't want to be eating it as well. You'll see it a lot.
How freaky. How freaky is that? And one thing I want to just ask is also, isn't talc something you also want to avoid? TALC, talc?
Yes. So talc is an interesting one because talc alone is not necessarily toxic for you. It's, it's like a mineral. It's comes from the earth, but it usually or often can be contaminated with asbestos, which you may know from like signs and buildings and stuff. It's a building material that can be very toxic and can cause cancer. So brands can do things to take the talc that they're sourcing to make sure that it's asbestos free, and they can remove it or just batch test their ingredients to know that that doesn't contain asbestos. That's a little bit more complicated, but like in general, I would say avoid talc unless you know it's a brand that you can trust that is using talc that's asbestos free.
Okay, that's good advice. And yeah, just for the most part, you guys, I have always just made sure, for me, just because I struggled with acne for years and, then cleared my skin through my healthy diet and through my natural ingredients and all of that. You guys know I talk about all that stuff all the time on my YouTube channel and what I did. But that's a huge thing for me, Car, as far as ingredients, is I know for me personally, if it has mineral oil or if it has talc, no way. Like, I put it on the shelf. Well, a lot of makeup has talc in it. A lot of makeup, like liquid makeup, has mineral oil in it. And I just know for me, it just does not work. And so not to mention, it's not good for you. So just keep that in mind. If anybody's watching this who is a breakout prone, keep these ingredients in mind as well. Because of course, your body is going to show toxicity levels in different ways. And that could be through breakouts, right? It could be a symptom that your body's showing you something's not right. It's not always like, oh, how do I cover it up, right? And I think a lot of our followers are savvy enough to know this. But even that maybe if you're new to it or you're trying to go more green, just keep in mind your body's a machine. And like I talk about in my yoga classes and things a lot, our emotions, everything, it's all a circle. And that's why I'm all about physical, mental, social, spiritual, emotional, and holistic beauties, because everything's cause and effect. And if you're using a toxic ingredient or something that's not maybe on the up and up, it can create symptoms like breakouts. It may not like kill you, but it could cause a symptom like that, or maybe it's a symptom for long-term health issues. So just keep that in mind.
Something to add on to that is that some of these ingredients that we're talking about and other ingredients that are more harmful, they're endocrine disruptors. So what that means is it's messing with your hormones. Right. As we all know, if things mess with your hormones, you can break out. Like, think about like taking birth control and it messing with, making you break out, or making your skin clearer, or
even weight gain, you guys.
Or weight gain. Or your boobs getting bigger, or whatever.
Or even like, just hormonal, imbalances anyway. Like, we're, as women, I think a lot, my target market's obviously women, but I want to empower all beings in and out. But a lot of us women, and men have hormones, of course, too, but I think women are very aware of them because of that time of the month, and we're very sensitive to that. And so a lot of clients come to me when they do their wellness and beauty consult with me, and they're like, oh my God, hormonal balance is a huge issue. And those clients tend to say clearing their skin and hormonal, balance tends to be huge. And of course, those often go hand in hand. So Car, that's perfect that you mentioned that, because your hormones, which affect so much, and that could even affect your mental state or your emotional state if you are anxiety or depression, right? It could be your ingredients. This is how interconnected everything is here. So I'm just scrolling up a little bit because I saw obviously some people saying hi and yay, and I love seeing this. Okay, so then this, I saw a question here. I saw a few of them.
There was one.
Yeah, what type of products are most, I see. What type of products are most critical to opt for non-toxic? So what type of products are most critical to opt for non-toxic? So are there some products that you would say, Car, she has to choose, like, oh, your cleanser and your moisturizer, but your makeup's maybe not as important? Or do you think everything? That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
And I just want to give a call out to her. It's in _Rosie_colored_glasses. Thank you for asking that. Awesome.
I believe I know that person. Hello.
Yay!
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
That's a really great question. What I would say is anything that is going to literally get into your body directly. So I would start with your lip products, like any lipsticks, lip liners, chapsticks. I would definitely start there, and also eye products, anything that's like an eyeliner, an eyeshadow, anything that's going to get into your eye. I think those are two really great places to start. And then also anything that you use frequently. So like if there's a body lotion that you put on every single day, maybe you should try to find a healthier option. Yeah. Awesome. I think those are the best places to start.
Well, and I love what you're saying about lips and eyes. To be honest with you, that makes so much sense. I wouldn't have even thought that. That's actually...
We're eating our lipstick. We're literally eating our lipstick. You're swallowing it. You think it just fades and disappears into thin air? No, you're eating it.
That is so gross, Carly. That's crazy. And it makes sense. Even like when it's like right now on like my, little coffee cup here, like, yep, it's right there. I got like
I got a little on mine as well.
That's crazy. All right. So beauty brands that are watching this, make sure you guys are coming out with awesome lip colors, please, for my makeup tutorials that are non-toxic, but that followers actually want to wear. I sometimes get annoyed by that, to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of skin stuff's incredible, and I sometimes feel like I'm like, hey, where's like the modern lip colors that are good for you, but they're modern colors versus just like classic colors? That sometimes drives me nuts. So brands, pay attention to this interview, okay? I'm going to have to give a couple tips to a few brands I know that I love, but I just feel like they could improve on some of their colors. Because, you want to get beauties in and out. And that includes...
One comment on that is that it is, in general, a little easier for the skincare industry to be a little cleaner, like clean color, truly clean color or color cosmetics. It's very, 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 very complicated. And so sometimes there isn't the best alternatives yet for certain things, mostly because like we want foundation to stay on, we want lipstick to not smudge, we don't want it to run, we want our eyeliner to last all day, all of these things. And sometimes it's a little bit more complicated. There are some really... Oh my gosh, I can see myself now. Hello.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was funny. It just like paused all of a sudden. That's good. And it's still saying live. Okay, good. And I just want to check our timing real quick, Car. Okay, we're gonna have to get going pretty soon here, but we're still good. Okay, but what were you just saying? You were saying the eyeliner.
Just the last thing is, I can definitely recommend, if you reach out to me, brands that are out there that have like not just like natural plain colors that are cleaner. There's some really great brands out there that are doing a good job.
Awesome, I love that. And you guys make sure, Car, tell them really quick. We'll tell them everybody at the end, but tell them what your Instagram handle is one more time for anyone who's just joining us.
It's Clean Bee Carley.
Clean Bee Carley. So at Clean Bee as in beauty or as in brands. So Clean Bee Carley. And then her website, you guys, which is about to launch. She's actually launching it here in the next couple of days. It's beautiful. I've already been lucky enough to see the back end and look at some of her stuff. And that is cleanbeeconsulting.com. Okay, so check that out for sure. And again, I'll remind you before we hop off here, which is going to be soon. Hi, loves. Thank you for doing this. So informative, important. We're getting some great feedback here. My favorite, so somebody said my favorite natural laundry detergent from Sprouts that has that M word listed. Oh no, she's like, no. Oh, Jeff, the cry face. Oh no, yeah, natural, right? And so guys, as I'm scrolling through here, please make sure if you have any questions, make sure you send a question right now because we're about to hop off here. Of course, you can always make questions on my blog, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram feed, and make sure you tag me and then Carly as well in your questions so we can, get back to you. But if you have a question right now, please ask us before we hop off because we don't want to, overlook anything here. And then she says, yeah, glowing, and then BHT is in a lot of food. I was shocked at how many, and some was labeled healthy. Yeah, that's very interesting. And again, guys, that's such a good point. Thank you for sharing that, Randy. And I believe that was Randy. Yeah, because, that's where you got to do your homework. Remember, you can't blame marketing people, right? I was a journalism marketing major. Like I get it, and marketing is beautiful, and it's fun, and it's creative, and it's kind of mixing psychology with business, and it's beautiful. But keep in mind, their jobs are there to sell you stuff, right? Their jobs are to, make a buck and to, keep businesses, happy and, all of that. So you have to really remember when it comes to your own health, when it comes to the health of your little ones, of your family, of your significant other, your friends, et cetera, right? A ripple effect. You got to do your homework. And I know that sometimes it's just easier just to be like, I'm just going to use this because I like it and it's, whatever, this tastes good. But I mean, we all know that fast and convenient even though now there's more healthier options when it comes to beauty and even food out there, you know, we all know that fast food, for example, I'm not trying to diss too much here, but, you know, we all know that sometimes fast and easy isn't always the answer when it comes to choosing healthy. So you do have to actually do your own homework. So Karen is telling me there's 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining, so we're actually perfect here on timing. Which of the top 10 mimic estrogen the most? So again, we only have 1 minute and 40 seconds left. So can you answer that in about maybe 30 seconds here, Car? Which of the top 10 mimic estrogen the most?
So that's a very detailed question. I think it would be hard to answer that and for it to be completely accurate. But I would say in general, preservatives are a really big one. So like from the top 10 list, the ones that I mentioned that are preservatives are parabens, that long M word, formaldehyde. I think that was NBHT are the ones that are preservatives. But yeah, I can definitely help get you that information later if you really want to know which ones mimic not just estrogen but mess with your hormones is what I would a simpler way of saying it.
Yes, and guys, we'll make sure that we have that in the blog post. So before we get cut off here, you guys, I just really want to say thank you so much, Car, honestly, for taking the time to do this. You guys, she is super busy out there in San Francisco. Like I said, she works with top beauty brands, and it's so amazing having her here. You know, I'm so grateful for her as a friend, but it's amazing seeing her shine bright in her passion. And you guys, make sure that you guys are following Carley. Make sure you're, of course, following me at True Beauty Movement. That's TRU without the E, Beauty Movement. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel via the link in my bio, because all my live videos are being added there, so you have a whole library of videos to choose from on your watch, because they can only be up for 24 hours here on Instagram. So we love you guys, and until next time, be balanced, be true, and be proud to be you. See you later, guys. Thanks so much, Car.
Thank you so much. This was so
Thanks,
much fun.
Love. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's True Beauty Quick Tip. If you like what you see and for more confidence building tips on how to be a beauty from the inside out, remember to subscribe to our channel and connect with us at truebeautymovement.com. That's TRU without the E, Beauty Movement. Love you guys. Until next time, remember, be balanced, be true, and proud to be you.